Now, channelstv.com has more information for you, and on youtube.com/channelsweb you can watch our videos. You can also watch us on your mobile device via your browser or download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS, and Windows devices from their respective stores. Besides giving you access to news updates on the go, the Channels TV and Channels 24 app has an eyewitness feature that you can use to share pictures, videos, or news of happenings around you. Just install the app, then tap and swipe to reveal the menu, and then follow the instructions. And we have these images that you sent in. Let's begin with this one from Owerri, the Imo State capital, showing an ongoing construction work which our eyewitness reporter alleges is being handled by unqualified engineers. He advises the state government to re-award the contract to ensure quality work is done. Next is this image from Gombe State showing the falling wall of this building, which our eyewitness reporter describes as that of the Government Arabic College. He's worried that since the fall, no effort has been made to raise it, exposing the lives inside to danger. He asks for prompt attention. Our final set of images are showing these people who our eyewitness reporter describes as residents of Banana Island here in Lagos, who are protesting against an alleged invasion of their residences by men of the Nigerian army. They claim that a portion of their land meant for recreation was destroyed by the military in order to gain access for a proposed Apple Island. They want this to be investigated and appropriately tackled. We thank you for sending in these images. Please note that you too can report events around you. All you need to do is download Channels TV's free apps from their stores and follow the instructions, and there you go. It's been 22 years since the assassination of Mrs. Kudirat Abiola, the wife of the acclaimed winner of the 1993 presidential election, Chief MKO Abiola. Kudirat was killed during her struggle to secure the freedom of her husband, who had been accused of treason and then detained. In memory of her legacy, a solemn procession was organized at her residence in Lagos, where Nobel laureate Professor Wole Soyinka said the spirit of Kudirat Abiola lives on. Our correspondent, Ini John Mekwa, reports.
22 years after the assassination of Kudirat Abiola, the wife of the 1993 acclaimed winner of the general elections, MKO Abiola, many still gather to remember her and celebrate her life. They say her assassination is connected to the struggle of democracy in Nigeria. For 2018, they say it's a solemn walk in memorial of Kudirat Abiola. Individuals who have over time been vocal in the struggle to sustain democracy in the country join in the walk, which is from one end of the MKO Abiola residence in Lagos to the other. The walk terminates at the graveside of the Abiola matriarch, led by her daughter, Hafsat Abiola Costello. The gathering gives a platform for airing of views on the essence of the memorial.
The spirit of Kudirat lives on to inspire us. And there are many examples. They're numerous. And we mustn't forget them. We mustn't forget those who are still living, who continue the tradition of Kudirat, such as my mind leaps immediately to the name of a young girl called Leah Shraibu, the girl who said, "No, you will not take my freedom away." This is the meaning of Kudirat.
But the responsibility to sustain democracy in its purest form spreads to all Nigerians, according to the organizers.
We must all be ready to vote and stand by our votes. We remember Kudirat Abiola today. Abolition of poverty was the motto of Abiola's campaign. Today, poverty is on the increase. We must ensure that our citizens are given better share.
The group also asked Nigerians to participate in the forthcoming elections by collecting their PVCs with the intention to choose their leaders in the 2019 polls. Ini John Mekwa reporting for Channels Television News.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, the EFCC, has rearranged controversial businessman Mr. Fred Ajudua before a special offences court sitting in the Ikeja area of Lagos. He's been accused of allegedly defrauding one Zayad Zalaf and his German-based company, Technical International Limited, of the sum of $1 million. When Mr. Ajudua was rearraigned before Justice Mojisola Dada on 12 counts, bordering on conspiracy and fraud, he pleaded not guilty to all the counts. The arraignment suffered a series of setbacks last year before Justice Josephine Oyefeso of the Lagos High Court, before the State Chief Judge, Justice Okpeye Mioke, reassigned it to the Special Court for accelerated hearing. When the matter came up today, the EFCC counsel, Mr. Saidu Ate, urged the court to allow the charge be read to the defendant for his pleas to be taken. But Ajudua's counsel, Mr. Norrison Quakers, asked the court to instead hear all pending applications before taking the plea, and the judge obliged him. In his application, Mr. Quakers urged the court to dismiss this entire suit against his client on the grounds that the charge is defective and the court has no jurisdiction to entertain this suit. The EFCC's counsel, Ate, opposed this move, describing it as an abuse of court process. After taking the plea of the defendant, the judge ordered that he be remanded in Ikoyi prison pending hearing and ruling on his bail application. Further proceedings have been adjourned till June the 5th. And from Lagos, we move to Abuja, where Maokwe Ogun Yusuf is waiting with more stories. Hi, Maokwe.
Hello, Laddie. It's great to see you. Well, here in Abuja, they say that it would take an estimated $625 million to complete the Ajaukuta Steel Company. This estimate was given by the sole administrator of the company, Mr. Ismaila Akaba, who is speaking at a public hearing organized by the House of Representatives. An ad hoc committee of the House is investigating the reason for the steel company's failure to commence full operations since its inception. Our correspondent Terry Kumi reports.
The House of Representatives on the 15th of March 2018 resolved to amend the National Council on Privatization (NCP) Act to remove the Ajaukuta Steel Company from the list of public companies listed in the schedule and investigate the reason for the failure of the company to commence full operation since its inception.
A public hearing.
The complex is 98% completed, and the Minister of State, Mines and Steel Development explains the components which make up the remaining 2%.
The 2% you hear, these are the most important parts of what will have produced the intended liquid steel.
With the huge annual importation of steel and the huge employment opportunities which the Ajaukuta Steel Company will offer if it is completed, the question of why there was no allocation for it in the 2018 budget comes to bear.
It was advised that after $8 billion that has been sunk into Ajaukuta, the advice by that advisory committee was no money should be put into Ajaukuta again.
During your presentation, you said it's practically completed. So what is required? How much, based on the auditing that you've done?
It has not been submitted to us yet, but we hear figures of 500 million, 1 billion.
We will have to let the cat out of the bag. From our technical audit, an estimated value of $625 million is an estimated value, will be required to complete the plant and machineries.
The lawmaker from that constituency speaks on the concessioning of the company.
This complex is 98% completed. We just have 2%. And there is no good government in the world that will leave its steel sector in the hands of the private.
The most important conversation surrounding the Ajaukuta Steel Complex now is whether or not to privatize such a national asset with so much potential. Terry Ikumi, Channels Television News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has been conferred the Grand Patron of the Nigerian Red Cross Society during a visit of the humanitarian group at the presidential villa today. The president commended the Red Cross Society for its various interventions in humanitarian situations in the country, especially during the Nigerian Civil War. He recalled the role played by the society in assisting victims of the 1967 to 1970 Civil War, while dismissing allegations from some quarters of hatred towards people from the southeast. However, the national president of the Nigerian Red Cross, Mr. Bolaji Anani, appealed to the president to sign the revised version of the Red Cross bill when passed into law by the National Assembly.
The Nigerian government, I think we will try and do our best to help you, because we have seen your activities throughout the country. It has been consistent, it has been humanitarian, especially what you are doing now in the northeast. From the time that the Boko Haram has a substantial part of Borno State to now that they are not holding any local government. And what you are doing in the IDPs, internally displaced persons camps, what you have been doing, we are very grateful for that. It's just, it has to be a real commitment. Is something that one cannot be paid, but we are committed to it.
Winners have emerged in the 2018 edition of the PZ Cousins Chemistry Challenge for secondary schools in Lagos State. The Science Quiz competition, an initiative of PZ Cousins Foundation, is designed to promote the study of chemistry through open contest amongst public and private secondary schools.
Please make very welcome first on our list, Tadeshe Fatai from Abibat Mogaji Millennium Senior Secondary School.
It's the 5th season of PZ Cousins Chemistry Challenge.
So glad, a round of applause for the very glad Chibuso.
At the final stage of the competition, 6 finalists from different schools compete to outwit one another by providing answers to a pool of questions in chemistry.
D. Final answer. Yes. Number of protons in the nucleus of an atom. The correct answer is D. A round of applause.
At the end of the round, Tadeshe Fatai, an SS2 student of Abibat Mogaji Millennium Senior Secondary School, emerges the winner. Tadeshe gets the star prize of 1 million naira and a laptop, while his chemistry teacher gets 250,000 naira. The first runner-up gets 750,000 naira, while the second runner-up receives 500,000 naira. Each of the 3 top schools also get additional prize of laboratory equipment.
With the encouragement by my teacher, who has encouraged me that I should not be discouraged, that I should move on.
Before it happens to be a physics, but now it's chemistry. Therefore, I'm giving applause to PZ for making it possible, in terms of this reward and making students, to have interest in that particular subject. It has always been good.
The main objective of PZ Cousins Chemistry Challenge is to stimulate and encourage the learning of chemistry among students.
It's just a way of PZ looking at the young crop of people we have, starting from Lagos, with the intention of going all through Nigeria to make sure that we have and harness the best talents we have and promote chemistry in Nigeria.
As a way of encouraging girls to pick interest in the study of chemistry, the last girl standing in the competition also gets a special prize.
Even though she wasn't among the top 6, but she came 8th. So the more we continue to put education first, especially for female child, is important. PZ will continue to support and bring awareness as much as we can.
Since its inception in 2013, the competition has grown from about 800 to over 3,000 participants in 2018.